Hey, I'm talking about federal income tax and how to figure out what income taxes you may owe federally and also how those tax brackets work. So, to start, you should understand what the standard deduction is. For example, if you're filing single on your tax return and it's your first 13,850 is your standard deduction. It's the amount you can earn without paying any income tax. For married filing joint, it's 27,700. It does change a little bit each year. So you'll see in 2024, it's gone up by a little bit from 13,850 to 14,600. Now, if you're 65 or older, you get a little bit additional amounts added on top of that standard deduction. So it's helping those who are 65 or older and or blind as well. Now, if we look at the federal tax brackets, these also change a little bit. See, this is for 2023, 0 to 22,000, whereas for 2024, 0 to 23,200. That means if you earn the same income last year to this year, you'd actually pay a little bit less in taxes. So the second thing to note, sometimes people confuse, they think, oh, if they have income in the 22% bracket, then all their income is taxed. That is not correct. It's progressive. So first you take what you earn, let's say it's 100,000, you subtract that standard deduction, 13,850. Then that's going to be, less than 80 something thousand, but if it's single, then you have some being taxed at 22%, some at 12%, and some at 10%. So let me give you a specific example. Let's say you're married filing joint. Your income together is 125,000. You're 40 years old, so you're less than that 65. Your standard deduction for 2023 is 27,700. That puts your taxable income at 97,300. If we look at those brackets again, 97,300 means you have about 7 or 8,000 being taxed at 22%. That's when you're close to a bracket, that's when it's good to see, is there something I can do to make it so there's a little bit less income taxed at that higher amount, like retirement contributions or other deductions. As you can see, the biggest jump here is the 12 to 22%. So you'll see here it shows the marginal tax rate as 22% because that's where your last bit of income is being taxed the most. Whereas the overall effective tax rate, the average rate for you is 12.35% when you factor in your standard deduction and the tiered tax brackets. In other videos, I'll go over itemized deductions and how those work because there's a lot more to that. That's where we're talking about mortgage interest, charitable contributions, property taxes. Sometimes that helps, but most of the time these days, people are taking the standard deduction because it's so large.